This is a story you may have heard, but never like this. In a village wrapped in golden meadows and silver mist, there lived a girl named Alara, a pure-hearted child with hair like autumn leaves and a smile that could warm the coldest winter morning. People said flowers bloomed a little brighter wherever Alara walked. Birds landed on her shoulders. Strangers felt at peace just standing near her. But Alara had a secret sadness. Her mother, her own mother, a woman named Marin, had grown cold. Not the cold of winter. Something deeper, something hollow. For years, ever since Alara's father had gone away on a journey and never returned, Marin had watched her daughter's kindness grow, and grow, and grow. And instead of feeling proud, she felt something dark creeping into her heart. Jealousy. Why does everyone love her? Marin whispered to herself one night, watching from the doorway as neighbors brought Alara flowers and warm bread. No one ever brings me anything. And so, slowly, quietly, without Alara even noticing, her own mother began to do something terrible. She began poisoning her daughter's kindness. It did not come in a bottle. It did not have a color. Marin's poison was made of words. Every morning, she would say to Alara, "You are too trusting. People will use you." Every evening, "Your kindness makes you weak." And at night, just before sleep, "No one truly loves you, child. They only want what you give." Day after day, week after week. At first, Alara shook her head and smiled. But slowly, the way frost creeps across a window, the words began to stick. Strange things started happening in the village. Food left for the hungry went missing from Alara's doorstep before she could give it away. Letters of friendship she wrote were never sent, Marin hid them. Neighbors who came to visit were turned away at the door with cold excuses. Alara noticed. She asked her mother, "Why does no one come anymore?" Marin answered, "Because they never truly cared." She asked again the next week, "Why do they look at me differently now?" Marin answered, "Because kindness invites cruelty, my dear." And the week after, "Mama, why does my heart feel so heavy?" Marin said nothing. She only smiled. The flowers near Alara's window began to wilt. The birds stopped landing on her shoulders. And Alara, sweet, pure-hearted Alara, began to believe, for the very first time in her life, that perhaps she should stop being kind at all. One night, when the sky was full and silver, Alara sat alone by the old well at the edge of the village. She held a single wilted daisy in her hands. She whispered to no one, "Maybe Mother is right. Maybe I should just stop." The well shimmered, and a voice, ancient, warm, like moonlight turned to sound, rose up from the water. "Do not stop, little one." Alara jumped back. But she did not run. From the reflection in the water, a face appeared, not a frightening face but a wise one. Soft and glowing. It was the moon herself, who had watched over this valley since before any grandmother's grandmother could remember. "I have watched you, Alara," the moon said gently. "And I have watched your mother. What she is doing to you has a name. It is not love. It is fear dressed in a mother's clothing. But she is my mother," Alara said. Her voice broke. "She must love me." "She does," said the moon. "That is what makes this so dangerous. A person can love you and still harm you. A person can mean well and still poison what is beautiful." Alara was quiet for a long time. "Then what do I do?" The moon's reflection rippled, and in the water appeared an image, a small golden seed, glowing faintly. "Plant this by your window. Water it only with truth. It will show your mother what she has done, but only if you are brave enough to let her see it." Alara reached into the well. The seed was real, warm. She held it to her chest. "And if she refuses to see?" Alara asked. The moon whispered, "Then the seed will show the whole village. And the truth will not be kind." Alara planted the seed that very night. By morning, a tiny green shoot had pushed through the soil. By the next morning, it had small silver leaves. By the third morning, a flower had begun to bloom. But it was unlike any flower in the valley. It glowed with a soft gold light. And in its petals, anyone who looked closely could see images. Like tiny moving paintings. Marin saw it and froze. Because in those petals, she saw herself. She saw herself standing in the doorway, watching Alara laugh with a neighbor, and her own face was twisted with something ugly. She saw herself taking the letters Alara had written and throwing them into the fire. She saw herself leaning over her sleeping daughter, whispering, "They don't love you. Only I do. Only me." Marin grabbed the flower. She yanked it from the pot. She threw it across the room. "No!" Alara cried out, rushing in. She caught the flower before it hit the floor. But its stem had snapped. The golden light flickered. The petals began to fall. You would show the village my shame. Marin screamed. Her eyes were wild. You ungrateful child. I did not plant it to shame you, Alara said, tears falling. I planted it so you could see. But Marin would not see. She ran from the house. Into the night. Into the dark forest at the edge of the valley. And the broken flower, its light almost gone, crumbled to ash in Alara's hands. The village noticed Alara now, but not in the way they once had. Without her kindness, she had become a shadow of herself. Without the flower, she had no proof of anything. And without her mother, she was utterly alone. Days passed. Then a week. Marin did not return. And something worse began to happen. The well at the edge of the village, the moon's well, went dry. The silver shimmer vanished. The moon herself seemed to hide behind the clouds, night after night. Children whispered that the valley's luck had run out. Old women said a coldness had come that no fire could fix. Alara sat in her empty house, the ash of the golden flower in a small clay bowl beside her. She had lost everything. Her mother, her kindness, the moon's magic, the hope she had carried since childhood. She put her hand over the ash. I forgive her, she whispered. Not to anyone, just to the empty room. I forgive my mother, even for this. The ash glowed, just faintly, for a single second. Then went dark again. The next morning, Alara did something no one expected. She walked to the forest. Alone, without magic, without a plan, without anything but the small clay bowl of ash in her hands. She found her mother sitting at the base of a great oak tree, hollow-eyed and shivering. Marin looked up. Her face was ashamed, fierce, defensive, all at once. Go away, Marin said. Alara sat down beside her. In the cold, in the dirt. No, Alara said simply. I don't deserve your kindness. I know, said Alara. I'm not giving it to you because you deserve it. I'm giving it to you because it's who I am. And I will not let you take that from me. Silence. A long, fragile silence. Then Marin began to cry. Not politely, not quietly. She cried the way people cry when they have been holding everything in for years and years and something finally cracks open. She cried for her loneliness. For her jealousy. For every letter she had burned and every kind act she had stolen. For every poisoned word she had placed inside her own daughter like a seed of doubt. I was so afraid, Marin wept. Afraid that if everyone loved you, no one would need me. I always needed you, Alara said softly. I only ever needed you. In that moment, the ash in the clay bowl bloomed. Not one flower, dozens. Tiny, glowing, gold and silver, rising from the ash and floating upward like living stars into the forest canopy. The clouds broke apart above them. The moon appeared, full and radiant, in the middle of the day, which had never happened before and would never happen again. Her voice came softly, like wind through leaves. Truth does not need permission to grow. It only needs one brave heart willing to speak it. Marin returned to the village. It was not easy. People remembered the coldness. They remembered the months of Alara's fading light. There were questions, and awkward silences, and neighbors who looked away. But Alara walked beside her mother every day. Not because she had forgotten. Not because the hurt was gone. But because healing is not a moment, it is a choice, made again and again, every single morning. Slowly, the flowers came back to Alara's windowsill. Slowly, the birds returned to her shoulders. And something new appeared, something that had never been there before. Marin began to leave bread on the doorsteps of the hungry. She began to write letters to people who were lonely. Small acts, quiet ones. Nobody else noticed. But Alara did. And she said nothing. She simply smiled. The well at the edge of the village filled again with silver water. On full moon nights, if you listened very carefully, you could hear a voice rising from it, warm and ancient and sure. Kindness is not weakness. It is the only armor that protects both the one who gives it and the one who receives it. And in the valley wrapped in golden meadows and silver mist, a pure-hearted girl and her healing mother lived, not perfectly, not without struggle, but together, and that was more than enough. Crescent moon, kindness cannot be poisoned forever, for it grows back wherever love is willing to be honest. The moon, keeper of the valley's oldest stories. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Magic Story Night, where every evening, a new tale is waiting just for you. Sweet dreams.